What is up, y'all? Welcome on back to another review as we are going to review and dive a little bit into episode 6 of The Last of Us season 2. So full spoilers from this point forward of episode number 6. So if you have not caught up through episode 6, highly recommend pausing this episode and then coming back once you have caught up. But without further ado, let's jump into this motherfucker. This was the flashback episode. This was the episode flashes back to the years in between season 1 and season 2, and it was pretty much just Joel and Ellie this entire runtime, which I'll let you go first on how you feel about this particular episode, because I have two thoughts overall, and it's two different, I guess, viewpoints of how I feel about this. So you have the floor, sir. How do you feel?
It was good seeing Joel again. I missed him.
Very good.
It was very nice to see him again. It was nice to see him playing a different role, really, than we saw him in the first season. He was definitely playing dad, living that dad life. And he was being a good dad, I think, personally, speaking as a father. It was like that's a dad I could look up to, that I would want to be, to an extent. Honestly, I can't. I have given Bella Ramsey some hell this season for her acting chops or lack thereof. I think her playing the preteen teen child role she fits into. I think that is her. That's her purview, personally. When she starts acting like an adult or a vengeful adult is where she falls flat. This episode, her acting wasn't bad, and the episode overall wasn't bad, and it definitely added some context into why we see the separation between the two in the first two episodes of this season.
Wow, was not expecting you to go there, sir. It's coming out swinging. All right. I have a different opinion of Bella Ramsey in this episode. I think this highlights one of the key issues with this series and just TV series in general. And we've mentioned it several times on multiple episodes of the podcast, you and I. And that is when you have to take 2+ years to film one season, especially when it's with actors, actresses playing younger characters, you start losing, it starts taking you out of the show a little bit. Stranger Things, fucking egregious with that. I mean, it takes them, what, three years to film one season, and it's like, okay, they hit their growth spurt. They're not kids anymore. Like, what are we doing here? Bella Ramsey is trying to play. How old was she in the first episode? The first part of this episode, was it 15?
Was she
15?
that young? No,
I think
she's
I want to say it was 4. I want to say it was 5 years in between.
Yeah, but she was 17 at the end of this episode, which is when season 2 kicks off.
I thought she was 19.
Or she was 19. So this takes place over 5 years, so she'd be 14 in the very beginning.
Okay. So we have, I don't know how old Bella Ramsey is, but I'm assuming she's in her mid-20s, mid to late 20s, somewhere around there. You're going to fact check me here real quick. Just double check.
I'm just going to see she's 21.
20, oh, man, I was a little off. Then she, oh, that's right. She was in Game of Thrones. She was a child in that one.
She was.
I forget. It feels like I've known Bella, not known her personally, but like we've seen Bella Ramsey for so fucking long that she should be much older than that. But anyways, not the point. She's a 21-year-old trying to play a fucking 14-year-old, and it just does not fucking work for me. And this just goes back to, like I said, the issue with filming this shit over 2 years. You lose a little bit of the age gap there. And I just don't believe her as a 14-year-old, as a 15-year-old, as a 16-year-old. Now, when we get to the later portions of this episode where she's older, I actually don't mind it. But when she's actually playing the younger characters in this episode, I'm not a huge fan of it. It just the performance just does not work for me. But in terms of the overall episode and what this does for the story of these two characters, I thought it's a little disjointed because it's basically broken up into what, 5 parts
Mhm.
for this particular episode. So it's a little disjointed, so it doesn't really flow very well. But I do like the fact that it's basically the same day but 1 year apart. It's her
It's
birthday
all
every single time.
it's all Bella's birthday every year for 2 years in a row, then 2 years forward, or yeah, skip two, then skip two, whatever. But
Yeah. Um. So I do like that, and I think in order to dive into those years that we missed, I think this was probably the best way to do it. And I really liked a lot of the moments that, like you said, Joel was just being a dad. And this kind of just makes the episode where he dies hit a little bit harder for me because of these moments with her. And yeah, like he has that moment with her in the bedroom where she's not technically having sex with the girl yet, but they're making out and shit like that, fooling around, and he's
it
just
was
like,
going there.
it was going there. Yeah, like if you'd give it like 5 minutes, it would have been there. But then he's like, "Oh, you're just doing all the teenage shit all at once, huh?" In this one particular sitting, and it's moments like that that I really enjoyed with this episode. But overall, I thought it was a decent episode. I didn't dislike it at all. I thoroughly enjoyed most of it. It was literally just those moments of acting that just kind of completely took me out of it. Now, I
Mhm.
will say this at the very beginning of the episode, and this is why you always got to make notes and then kind of go back and like scratch some notes out. We had the flashback of Joel and his dad, which I thought they tied very well to the very end of this episode. Um, but at the very beginning, I was like, I don't give a fuck about his dad. Like, what the fuck are we even harping on that for? But I like the fact that at the very end, he kind of says the same thing to Ellie that his dad told him that, I hope you do a little bit better than me when it's all said and
Mhm.
done. That's a good full circle moment
It came full
for this
circle.
episode.
Yes.
It's a circle.
Right.
But I think if we're looking at the season as a whole, and actually, you know what? I kind of want to save that for the finale. Actually, so I'm gonna hold off those thoughts of that. If you want to catch my final thoughts on the finale, just wait like a few days, and that episode will be out.
I do find it
What?
funny. They have followed a formula on this show. Now, granted, this season is a couple episodes lighter than season one, but we have the episode 3 kind of character building episode, backstory episode that we didn't really need in both seasons. And now the episode before the finale, we have the flashback episode. And they're following a formula. Like for season 3, we can I'm assuming we're gonna expect the same formula where episode 3 doesn't really matter, don't really need it. Second to last episode's gonna be a flashback. It's getting monotonous.
I Since you fucking brought it up, I might as well just give you my thoughts now. I was going to save this for the next episode. This is one of the problems with the show at large is the writing and the decisions on. Look, you end the last episode with Ellie torturing Nora, and we assume that she killed her at that time. Um, and then you go right into this episode. It's like you just ended that episode like really fucking strong. I don't want to say a cliffhanger by any means, but you ended it in a way that's like, okay, I need the rest of this story. Like, come on, give me some more of it. But instead, they give you a flashback episode, and it feels like 1 step forward, 2 steps backwards
I
kind
get
of
where they
thing.
put it. I get where they put this episode in at though, because you just had that cliffhanger. Ellie's known this entire time that Joel killed everybody for her to keep her alive. And everyone's like, well, how did she know? So now it's like, okay, next episode we're gonna tell you.
I don't know. I don't know. You had a lot of momentum with that episode, especially the back half of the episode, and to just go into this, which is a like again, I'm not saying this is a bad episode, and I think that I heard someone on I want to say it was Cody Leach who's on YouTube. You can go find him. Uh, I enjoy a lot of his reviews. His thing was, you know, you're building up this tension and whatnot, and then you're kind of pulling the rug out from underneath us a little bit. And it's like I want it's just inconsistent for me.
Yeah.
Like the way they go about the storytelling, and again, we can dive into this a little bit more when we review episode 7. It's like fundamentally what I was worried about going into this season was how were they going to tackle the chronological events of the game in one season or 2 seasons, how they were going to break that up. And that's really the biggest issue that I have with the season, other than the writing, which is the biggest. But one thing that this episode gave me, sir, that I didn't know that I wanted until I started thinking about it. Catherine O'Hara's character in this episode,
Yes.
I really enjoy her character. Give me a fucking spinoff, okay? And I don't want like a The Last of Us where she goes on adventures or shit like that. I want it to be, give me like a 4-episode miniseries or something like that, where she's just sitting there smoking pot and talking to patients. Like, give me like little 25, 30-minute episodes where it's just like one session with the townsfolk of Jackson, and she's just telling them to shut the fuck up the entire time. Like, I would be down for that.
I love. Well, first it was good to see who the hell Eugene was, so we got that backstory, and I liked that part. I think that was good, and he had old boy from the Matrix that was in it.
See, it's funny that you say The Matrix. I think Bad Boys.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, Captain.
Right. So you had him playing Eugene, and that was cool. You know, they're on their first patrol with Ellie. She's finally old enough to do it. She's 17 years old. Let's go do it. And then that happens. They find him, Eugene. He's infected, but not quite infected enough yet. And so you get that divide where we do the family thing or we do the colony thing, and Joel does the colony thing, and Ellie is not about that life yet. Still isn't, obviously. Nothing's changed there. And then, but you get to meet, or you don't. I guess you get to meet Catherine O'Hara like 2 times in this episode. The one time she's sitting there just trying to enjoy a cup of coffee.
Oh, yep.
Trying to enjoy a cup of coffee, and he just sits down and starts spilling his beans, and she's like, are you sitting in a chair right now? Am I taking, do I have a notepad? Are you paying me? Like, why are we having this discussion? And then he just gets up in the middle of it after he gets his one answer and leaves. And then she's just sitting there like, well, now I'm fucking curious. Like, why don't you give me some more?
That's what I'm saying, man. That's what made me think that I wanted the little spinoff series. Dude, just give it to me, okay? I'll eat that shit up. 25 minutes. That's all I'm asking for.
She was good. I like her.
Yeah, I really enjoy her character and wish we got more of her. I want to say they've announced it, or she's announced that she's not coming back for season 3, which we can talk about it.
Yeah, because I've already heard rumors what season 3 is, and evidently season 4 is also going to be a part of part 2. Because the director's already come out and said we can't do it in 2 seasons. It's going to have to be 3 or 4 seasons just for part 2.
Which is what we kind of predicted the very beginning of watching the show. It was probably going to be at least 4 or 5 seasons.
So Ellie's going to be 30 years old by the time this show finishes, or this
right?
game finishes.
Jesus Christ, man. Because it's going to take 20 years to fucking film this shit. Going back to the scene about Eugene, I agree. I thought that was a really, really good scene. And I thought the moment of like he kind of realizes that I'm about to die. I thought that they showed that kind of perfectly throughout the scene, and the want, the need to kind of see a loved one before that happens, and the feeling of this is it. I thought they portrayed that very well in that scene, and that all kind of culminates with Ellie finally confronting Joel on what happened in Salt Lake, and really great acting from Pedro Pascal here, where you can kind of see through his facial expressions, emotions, that he realizes that he's going to lose Ellie regardless of whether he tells the truth or not. And I'm look, like you said earlier, I've shit on Bella Ramsey's acting for a majority of the season. I thought she did really fucking good here in this particular scene.
When she's
I
not
just
playing, when she's not playing the supposed vengeful person,
she does pretty well.
because she can't do that. She can do teenager or young adult, but she cannot do vengeful adult.
Agreed. Agreed. And just Ellie is calling him on his bullshit because he says I did this for you, I saved you, and shit like that. But really, at the end of the day, she tells him, you did this for you, not for me. He's
Absolutely.
selfish, and that
Absolutely.
was all.
This was this was this was his chance to save his daughter that he couldn't save when the outbreak first happened.
Yeah, and it's it's interesting to see. The game just does it so much better. I'm sorry. I hate to be that guy. The game just handles all of this so
The
much better.
the book is better.
Dude, I hate being that fucking guy. I've never been able to be that guy, and now I am. And it's just like these moments in the game were just told better. But grading this actual episode, I still enjoyed it regardless. Not saying these moments were bad, but the season at large has an issue with these are great individual scenes, but when you tell it from episode 1 through episode 7 or 6 in this case, it doesn't like I don't feel like a lot of these scenes are earned. So I feel emotionless when I'm watching it. Like I should feel attached to these characters, considering this is season 2 now, and it's just like, okay, I don't really care one way or another, to be honest with you. But in the game, I'm attached to those characters. You know, when Joel dies in the game, it's like, damn, bro, what am I gonna do with the rest of the game?
I,
Like I
I
gotta
was
play as somebody
attached to
else.
Joel. I was attached to Joel first season. His death in episode 2 of season 2 was like, God, are you fucking serious? Like another actor I like died. And then now episode 6, now I'm like, oh, God, Joel, why did you have to die? Like that hurt me this episode. His death 5 episodes later hurts me now.
I think it hurts me more so for the fact that they were so inconsistent with the writing that we didn't like he didn't get his due.
Oh yeah.
Like I
And I
felt
think
like I felt like we could have got a couple more episodes with him and it would have been better.
but yeah, all we had to do, I mean, we've already determined that they could have stretched this season out more than 7 episodes. I mean, episode 5 alone could have been 2 or 3 episodes alone. Just
Yeah.
that one. And then we went from the second episode Joel dies. Like you just brought, the show just started back up again.
I waited 2 years for this. This
Right.
is
I waited 2
bullshit.
years to see Pedro Pascal die in the second episode. Like,
This place is a fucking prison.
right.
But
He
bullshit.
he stopped playing in The Mandalorian for this show, and they kill him off in episode 2.
Now it's gonna be Fantastic Four. I am of the idea that this entire episode is devoted to flashbacks. I think it would have been better. Now, from a shooting it and filming it, money wise and all that, it probably doesn't make sense to do it this way. But I think from a storytelling perspective, it would have been better if they would have done flashbacks here and there.
During something going on present day. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, absolutely. And as like the year, like as the episode progresses, something triggers a flashback to go back to the next birthday or the next developmental event in her young adulthood where Joel is involved.
exactly. And that's one of the issue. That's another issue with the season as a whole is when we find out that Abby, or why she wants to kill Joel in episode 2. If we find that out in this episode or the next episode, I think it's just so much more impactful. It's more of a, oh fuck, damn, she that was her dad that he killed at the very beginning. Like, what the fuck? Like, I think it would have been much more impactful had we built a little bit of time with all these characters, with Ellie's vengeance and stuff like that. I think it would have worked better.
Yeah,
Um,
they should not have dropped that reveal in episode 2 that he killed Abby's dad.
like I've mentioned, you don't find out till like the fucking towards the very end
Right.
of why she's after Joel. And also, little pin this in your mind. The scene where where they're on the porch and they're talking, and
Mhm.
she's like, "Hey, I'm gonna give you. I probably can't forgive you, but I'm gonna try."
I want to try. Yeah.
That doesn't happen until the very end of the game. The very end of the game. So it's interesting how they were able to adapt that all this for TV. Um, it's a mixed bag for sure. I think you and I talked about these episodes being, I would say sevens almost across the
Mhm.
board, with the exclusion of episode 2, which was a pretty strong episode, I think. But again, all these episodes have fucking fantastic moments. It's just surrounded by moments that are not good, and
That
a
are
lot of
bringing it
that's
down.
to the writing. But yeah, do you have any other thing you want to say about this episode
Nope.
before we cut on out of here? Guys, let us know down below in the comment section how you feel about episode 6. Do you like the changes from the game to here? How are you feeling about the season at large? Let us know down there. And while you're there, hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps us out. And with that being said, that's going to be it from us. And we will catch y'all on the finale. Latest.